For the thousands in the comments and the millions listening on YouTube Premium.
Folks, welcome to Knitro as we are doing our run to the end of 1995. It's Rob here for another week of WCW disasters with Jordan and Bo. Thank you for joining us.
Howdy. Good to be here. Love to talk about historical wrestling events.
Yes.
This episode starts out with, we alluded to it last week. This is crazy. I did not know that this happens this soon.
Me neither.
Into the show.
Me neither. I assumed it was later.
I was caught off guard as well. Absolutely. But this has become, I feel it's become a much bigger moment in history than it really felt like at the time.
For sure. They didn't even mention it. Like, it was just like a flash at the start of the show, too. It was so like, it's very strange.
Yeah, it wasn't the biggest news of the show at all. It was just another thing that happened. And yet, if you watch any Monday Night War recap video, it's like, this was one of the shots across the line, brother.
Yeah. A shot across the bow.
Shooting Vince in the heart.
Yeah. So the show opens up with the announce crew. And Pepe has more of a Western theme this week.
He's not just cowboy Pepe. He is bandit.
Bandit. Yeah, he's a bandito.
Pepe. He's a bandito. And you know what? He looks incredible.
He looks pretty
He
good.
does look incredible. I was a little worried. I was like, could he breathe in that? I was a little like...
I've never encountered an animal of any species who's just like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, you could dress me up. It's fine.
Yeah, no, they don't want it.
Never in my life have I met a dog who's cool with that. It's crazy.
There are times where I have to, like, Ginny has skin issues, so she's got to wear like there's times where she's got to wear ointments.
Yeah,
and I got to put like these special pajamas on her. And it's like, this is good for you, dude. And she fucking hates it.
Yeah, they hate it.
Like, this is medicinal, cute little outfit. And no, they don't want to. They're like, I grow my little outfit.
Do we know the backstory with Madusa? Like, I know the story, but do we know, like, did she get offered a lot more money? What?
I don't know anything.
The story, actually. I looked it up. As I do, being the show's researcher.
Yeah.
It was actually an interesting thing. It was kind of, so she was in WWF. She was the WWF's women division.
You mean
there was no women's division.
She was in WW.
Well, if you watch it, it's the network.
Is so crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah. It's funny.
It would have been funnier if it was just like WWE.
Yeah, just like a man's voice.
Very Simpsons, yeah.
In the captions, whenever they say WWF, the caption says WWE. It's fun.
That's so funny.
So she was the only woman in the women's division. They would bring in a heel for her to feud with on the big pay-per-views, and then that heel would be gone. And there would never be more than one story.
She was the only female wrestler in WWF at the time.
Yeah, she was the only active, like, full-time wrestler. I guess that's not true. There was Luna Vachon, but Luna was doing more managerial stuff. She would, and actually Luna would be the one that would kind of bring in these women, and like she would give them the rub of like, they're crazy like me, you know, like she brought in Bull Nakano. And then eventually, the last feud that she did was with Bertha Faye, which was this plus-sized woman who was a very violent wrestler in Japan, but in WWF, she just played a stereotypical, like, fat chick, kind of, you know?
Man. Hell yeah. Dude.
And it was, they didn't take the division seriously. Madusa was a world-class athlete. She went to Japan. She, you know, she had great matches, and she just wasn't allowed to showcase that.
Yeah.
They were planning for a feud with her and Aja Kong, who you may recall from early AEW shows and a legend of women's wrestling. But so this is where the story starts. It was the biggest shock of the weekend. And it said that J.J. Dillon, who worked as the guy for the contracts in WWF at the time, also former Horseman, had contacted All Japan, who had Aja Kong's contract. They were scheduled to face each other at Royal Rumble. But essentially, J.J. Dillon called All Japan and said, don't send Aja Kong. Alundra Blaze's contract is up in December, and we're not going to renew it. So essentially, they fired her by not renewing her contract. And they knew that she was negotiating with WCW. So it wasn't even like for her, she was kind of like, what am I going to do? Oh, like, what's happening? And I remember watching like one of those documentaries, and she was saying how like when she got the call that she wasn't getting her contract renewed, she was like, well, what do I do with the belt? And they were like, oh, we'll keep it. We don't need it. Like, we're not doing any women's stuff. So then when she got in touch with Eric, it was like, hey, WWF kind of let me go. Do they have a place for me? Oh, and by the way, I have this title. What should I do with it? And he was like, bring it. And she said that, like, I guess she didn't feel right doing it. She felt very guilty doing it. But because her back was against the wall and this was the only guy giving her a contract, she felt like she was not like pressured into, but like she needed to do it because she had just gotten this contract.
What?
And
complete irreverence for like even the craftsmanship put into the belt. Like, I can't imagine the props director or whoever is in charge of such things in WWF being like, yeah, whatever. That's just,
it's weird.
It's one of
like,
your
why would they
items,
just didn't care?
It's like a thing. It's just like, that's so fucking crazy.
It's their intellectual property.
Yeah, that part is insane. It's weird how much belt flip flopping there was on the shows.
I love it.
This time.
It's cool.
I love it. Here's the thing: her dropping the belt in the trash. I was like, it's badass.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty fucking
you
cool.
could tell she was really nervous. When she got on there, like she was like, "Hey, everyone, shut up! You too, Bat Dog." She called Pepe Bat Dog, and like she was like so nervous, but like you could tell like she's been practicing the speech for like 2 weeks. Like I am Madusa, I am a woman, and that's what I think of the WWF women's belt. That she dropped it, but I loved the line. I really marked out for the line. This is WCW. I'm in WCW. This is where the big boys play, and now this is where the big girls play. Yeah. Equality.
Crazy. And then she's not on the show.
She went home.
She threw away the belt and then left, and they don't acknowledge it for the rest of the show.
Well, they do say, and as a Chicagoan, this is where I marked out. They say, hey, to make sure no one else comes to the announcer table, we got the fucking fridge, baby.
The fucking fridge.
He's gonna make sure no one else comes to the table. Dude, I don't watch sports. I've never watched sports, but growing up here, the fridge, it's like Walter Payton, the fridge, and Ditka are like the three like bears, anythings that you're gonna know no matter what kind of a thing.
Right.
It's like Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman, really.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. It's so fucking cool.
I was the same way. I only know William Refrigerator Perry from WrestleMania 2. I don't know if you recall, there was the wrestlers versus football players battle royal, and he was the last guy in with Andre the Giant, or not like one of the last guys in with Andre the Giant, and I think the Hart Foundation. And I remember he was like trying to tackle Andre over the top, and I was like, I didn't know who he was. You know, I wasn't a football guy, but I was so rooting for him because like just his gumption of thinking he could take on Andre the Giant. Yeah. So I always remembered him from that moment. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Now another wrestler jumped ship.
Yeah. He won. He's got a Super Bowl ring, I believe, for the 85 Bears. That's like the whole. He was in the shuffle. He sang the shuffle.
Oh, the Super Bowl shuffle.
He's the man. He's the fucking man.
We love the fridge.
Yeah, that was cool.
I love that all of WCW's sports or like sports connections are Chicago based because they get Rodman later.
Yeah, why? I wonder why that is. I'm sure.
I
it's
wonder
just-
why that is.
just
Was
also.
Mongo?
Were you-
Mongo was also Chicago, right?
Yeah, he
on
was.
the
He was a Bear, I think. Yeah, like
Who,
my mom knows who he is. You know what I mean? She sent me an article about him recovering recently.
Yeah, he has ALS.
Yeah, so that was cool.
Sad.
That was wild.
Which of the three bulls, of
Yeah.
the main three bulls,
Yeah,
but which one are you, Jordan? Are you Pippen? Or are you Rodman?
like who do I identify with? Like if I was
Yeah, or who was your guy when you were a kid? What you were like? That's my guy.
everyone's guy was Jordan. Like
Right.
the fucking man, the like spell that team had over the city. My mom and I
Yeah.
went outside and banged pots and pans when they won.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
because
even
people
in
just-
New York,
people
everyone
just
was a
did it,
Jordan.
yeah.
I think Jordan transcended. Like, it's like, okay, Jordan's number one. Who else?
However,
You
That's
know?
right.
I will say because of his hair, I loved Rodman, and I liked
Yeah,
that he
I
was
was
like,
a Rodman guy.
I liked that he was like mean, you know, like I thought that was cool. But I also, dude, Tony Kukoc, Luke Longman, there were other guys on the teams who were like
They were cool. Yeah.
the unsung
Yeah, I mean,
heroes.
Steve
Right.
There's a moment in the Last Dance documentary where Jordan today says like, I wouldn't have been able to do what I did, and the Bulls wouldn't have been who we were without Tony Kukoc, which is like crazy. It's like a crazy thing to say. So it was
Love
just
you, Tony.
a very special dude. Every time I go to the United Center, they have, you know, the 23 and all hung up and like all the finals. Whew, it gets me every time. It's fun.
I was into it too when I went for Forbidden Door last year.
I was at Forbidden
like-
Door last year. Shit.
Oh,
How about that? But what's funny is the fridge does not stop possibly the worst promo ever from happening.
yes.
When
Yes.
Pitbull. Dude,
I almost forgot about this.
I know it
Oh
might
my
be out of
God.
order or whatever, but dude, that was genuine.
Painful.
That was horrible. If I don't
feel
get
like
some
you-
help, I'm gonna need some help. like what?
Dude, that was insane.
I almost feel like they didn't even clue in Bobby Heenan that Pittman was going to ask him. You know,
he plays it off he plays it off truly confused.
and it's like, Bobby Heenan's going to return from retirement of managing to manage you, Craig Pittman. Okay, I mean, I admire the.
Are they giving this guy so much TV time?
I don't get why. Like, it's so weird who they choose to get. Like, their talent development is so bad. Him, Disco Inferno, like. I guess on the plus side, there is Eddie Guerrero, and this first match
First
is
match.
unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it.
Unbelievably sick.
It was awesome.
Ric Flair versus Eddie
So
Guerrero.
awesome.
A few weeks ago, Colin was very upset because they advertised this match and didn't deliver it.
Oh,
But then they delivered it here, and man, was it worth it.
it was awesome.
This
First
is-
of all, go ahead.
Go for it.
I was
Yeah,
going to say
go for it.
Flair's robe, like, you want to talk about pageantry, Jordan? This is pageantry.
It's just drag,
So
Henny.
yeah, it's so expensive. Flair, just what a pro. Like, he is falling over for Eddie Guerrero. He's making Eddie Guerrero look like $1 million. It was a perfect showcase for him. And again, Bobby Heenan does his Bobby Heenan thing of being like, everywhere I go, every airport I go to, everyone's talking about Eddie Guerrero. I'm just like, what's the big deal? What do you guys see in him? And it's like,
Wow.
everybody is putting their work boots on to make sure Eddie Guerrero gets over.
It's
And they
fucking awesome to see because he's so good. He's
And he
so
deserves
good
it,
as a
yeah.
just, even though he's just like a basic baby face in right now, he's so good at it. And he's showing like a little bit of charisma. Like when he's whooping Flair's ass, he's got like a, all right, I'm doing it. I'm gonna get you. And you don't usually see that with like a white meat baby face. So he's doing a great job. The finish of this match, I've never seen this finish before.
Remind me.
It was fucking sick. So the whole match turns when Eddie misses a dive to the outside, fucks up his knee.
Oh yeah. Did you notice he grabs both knees though? He goes, my right knee.
I forgot. He's like, fuck, the figure 4 is the right knee.
Yeah.
He definitely fucks it up. But then, Flair beats his knee's ass and then throws him in the ring, puts him in the figure 4, and he's not tapping out. But every time, because I've seen this in other matches with the figure 4, but that people, when they lay back, like the ref will count it as a pin, and then they got to get back up. Eventually Eddie doesn't give up, but he just passes out.
Yeah,
and they count the pin.
It's like the Hitman Stone Cold double turn finish, kind of. Only where it should have been. It should have been a pin. Yeah, but yeah, that was sick. And again, sick. It's like, it's cool knowing someone's legacy, knowing Eddie's legacy and where he'll eventually be. Yeah. Seeing legends putting him over at right at the start of this promotion, you know? Yeah. Like, you're opening a show with Flair and he's making you look like a threat. Come on. It's the coolest shit.
So sick. It's so
just
cool.
that Flair allows the finish to be him not getting a clean victory. You know, like Hogan would never go for that. You know what I mean? Like, Flair is the consummate professional, cares about the business, probably faced all of Eddie's brothers and his dad at some point. You know, he knows the family. So, this was beautiful. This was so good. And it so contrasted the other matches on the show because the meat of these matches was actually great. Of this match was great, and the meat of all these other matches was just the punch, kick, like weird headlock submission for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
there was nothing to the match. With this match, I actually put my phone down and I was like, "Oh, I want to watch this. I want to see how they're moving." Also, Flair has an amazing way of getting you from point A to point B by like doing moves on you, as opposed to just grabbing you by the hair and throwing you to the turnbuckle. He'll chop and punch you to the turnbuckle. You know, like it's all these little things. It's why he's the best. And then we get an interview, and I don't want to gloss over this because the fit on AA Arn Anderson is
my god!
Like, can you imagine how many ladies that these two would get after shows? Dude. Look at the way they look.
Okay, we don't want to actually get into that because there's probably some not great stuff about that.
That's fair.
But what is great is I wrote in my notes, Arn right here is the coolest a person has ever looked.
Yeah, dude, I took notes and it deleted. So I had notes. I was ready. His hair in this moment
is gone.
It's like a literal wisp of hair. Like there's nothing. There's eight strands.
Like one. He has like the front of my hair.
It is unreal. What are you holding on to?
At that point,
cut it. Get it gone.
He's still holding on to it.
Yeah.
The thing is, I see it and I'm like, oh, you're combing the front. But I see it on him and I'm like, I don't hate it. Like, he kind of still looks awesome
with the glasses.
Dude, what's funny is he dresses the same. Like, we're almost 30 years later and he was just on, Dynamite or Collision, whatever, the last week. He looks the same. Same guy.
He looks
same wardrobe.
He looks the same
just
age.
Got wider.
Just wider. Dude, he does. He's like, man. Okay. You know how this doesn't make any sense, but you know how Tony Soprano in The Sopranos is like alpha male, big guy.
Yeah.
And that's what the ladies like. And maybe at the beginning of the show he is kind of like that, but as he gets bigger, it's kind of like I personally like lose, like that doesn't ever make sense to me.
Yeah.
Arn at this point is what I imagine
is season 1 Tony Soprano.
He's but like impressive and intimidating, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He's like a big boy who looks like I'm going to tear you in half. Like, no matter what, I'm going to hurt you.
He's very intimidating. Like when the It's a dungeon master. What the fuck is
Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan? Fuck off. We were talking last week about how we need like Undertakers and whatever to like get this shit.
All he's got is eyebrows. He's just and then
That's
being like, "What are you guys doing out here?" Like that's all he does. It's get
a
lost.
fucking Casey Affleck Boston accent coming out of those eyebrows. It's crazy. But you see him like talking shit to Arn, and Arn like grabs the mic, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna kill him. I thought he was gonna murder him. And there is something there. I think Rob is correct. And also you are also correct, Bo. That he's intimidating, but also just a really sexy guy.
Yeah.
Arn is the man.
He's kind of hot. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, it's the confidence
he's a fucking hot
It
guy.
is.
He's confident.
You're right.
His proportion, like the fit is unbelievable. Like the actual choice of clothing, but also it fits him great. He looks great. We love Arn on this show. This show has taught me.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
If the show has taught me one thing, it's that Arn Anderson is hot as fuck.
1995 Arn Anderson. Get it.
Wood.
Oh, wood. Can I say something?
Can I say something?
How old do you guys think Arn is here? How old do you think?
Let me guess, because I truly have no idea. He's probably he's for sure in his 60s now, maybe 70s even, which is crazy. So this is almost 30 years ago. So in his 30s, 35, my age.
Jordan, what do you think?
I think he's 39.
Okay, split the difference. He was 37 here. He's born in 58, currently 64. But I feel like he looks older than 37 years.
Sure does.
He looks like he has been 68 for 30 years on this episode.
Dude, well, here's the thing. Ric Flair looks like my grandma after she moved to Florida. His whole life.
That's how I felt about Roddy
like
Piper.
a Boca Raton grandma, and I can't not ever see it. I'm not saying he's not awesome. I'm not saying it's not a good look, but I see him and I'm like, this is a 40-year-old man who looks like, at the time, like a 72-year-old woman.
I wonder how much and how many melanoma Ric Flair has ever had in his life.
Good point.
It's all
Respectfully,
one melanoma.
But yeah, it's just one. It's just like, holy shit. What other matches?
It's a permanent noma.
What happened after the Flair Guerrero?
Sting.
So then they had their promo. I want to mention also there's 2 rules of the Horsemen that Arn Anderson let us know about. You don't put the success of the person ahead of the success of the group, and you attack
dope,
which I like. And you attack one of us, you attack all of us.
Dope.
It's like hardcore lyrics.
I love
sick.
it.
Yeah, and kind of the
I'm
mentality.
buying this Horseman shirt. Finding it right now.
Then we got that weird Pittman promo, and the line was, "If I don't get help soon, I won't take any prisoners," which is a very incel line. If I don't get laid, I'm killing all you women.
Yeah, straight up. He's inceled. He's man cell. He like it. That was the most awkward, uncomfortable. Like that dude was just reciting lines.
Yeah.
And you know that he got in the back. He was like, said the lines.
Just don't get their choice.
Did what I was supposed to do. Said the lines.
There's so many people that could be like, why Johnny B. Bad could be in this position, you know?
Dude, he came out and was like, hey, I'm out here to pull the mic away from his mouth.
Yeah. He moved. And then Bischoff was like, well, let's make sure everyone can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, that was I forgot about that moment.
Yeah, I forgot.
Like, dude, do you understand the medium you're on?
Funny.
I'm out here to tell everybody. Dude,
that is an unbelievable bit. Just a guy who keeps entering the scene and pulling the mic.
Just the straight-laced announcer has to break character to be like, don't you want to talk into the mic? Don't you want people to hear you?
But he keeps like,
no,
he keeps pushing it.
Thank you.
I got something to say to
everyone. I want everyone to listen to what I'm about to say.
I love it. Dude, this was fucking stupid.
So stupid.
So then we get before we get to Sting, we get a promo for Saturday Night. And this is where I realized that they renamed the Diamond Doll, who used to be Diamond Dallas Page's valet, is now Johnny B. Bad's valet, and she is now just the Doll. Why do they have a creative team?
Yeah, someone got paid.
Fuck?
Anyway,
like 60 grand a year at the time to do that.
What if it wasn't Diamond no more? I'll see you guys next.
That's exactly, it's Kevin Sullivan, so that's exactly who would have done that. Then we just call her the Doll.
Well, she's not with the Doll. I don't know. How about woman?
No, that's we're gonna save that for my wife. But anyway,
Oh my God! Right, I forgot that that's his fucking wife. Oh, okay, this is gonna get dark.
all right.
What happened
Then
next,
we
Rob?
get Sting looking amazing. I did like a double take. Talk about attractive, and I was like, wow. Like you could put someone who's never seen wrestling ever before in their life, show them a Sting match, like, oh, this guy's got something. This guy's got something.
Yeah.
He's got the ass for the grandmas.
He
talked about it many times.
Pretty fucking caked up.
Oh, speaking of being caked
He's
up, that is
caked
very
up.
accurate because, in fact, in the Observer, there was a very important news bit in the WCW section. Let me read it right.
About Sting's ass?
Listen up. The muscle-building drug stack of choice right now appears to be growth hormone combined with a German version of Anavar for those who make that choice. There hasn't been a drug test in WCW in a long time, perhaps as long as 2 months. And even so, you can't get tested for growth hormone in this country yet. And the other drug is supposedly ahead of testing as well. Although it doesn't matter anyway if you don't test or do test and they don't punish. On the show in Phoenix, it appeared that numerous guys were making great recent muscular gains, and that may explain why in some or most of the cases. So why is Sting and Lex Luger looking so great? They're on a combination of human growth hormone, HGH, which was brand new at the time, and Anavar, an anabolic steroid.
How new is this, Rob? Is this because Sting has had that ass since the first episode?
Well, I think
show.
Sting and Lex Luger, they probably have like whatever they were doing beforehand. It was before growth hormone, like whatever was beforehand, they were doing that. They just know. And to be clear, the thing that kind of annoys me when people are like, oh, it's just steroids. You don't just do steroids and get muscles. The steroids help you recover from the pain of going to do workouts. You still have to work out like a madman, which they always did. And the steroids are for growth and recovery,
And there's different kinds that'll benefit different aspects.
Right. But you still have to I want to make it clear. You still have to put in the work at the gym.
Of course. I wonder if our boy Arn at the time.
I mean, that's a dad body, but who knows?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if my Tony Soprano fantasy is ruined by.
No, I think that honestly, that just might be body by Peter Luger and bench pressing.
Ooh, Miller High Life. All right.
Absolutely. Let's
So
go,
Sting
baby.
versus Sir Bobby Eaton. This is the first time we're seeing Sir Bobby Eaton on Nitro. He's from Alabama, and then William Regal recently recruited him and gave him like all these lessons on how to be proper. And
where the fuck is William Regal? He has not been on one episode. He's been in the promo with the lights out, lights out, lights on, or whatever. Where is he? I love him.
No respect.
I want to see him.
So this match was kind of basic, but what I really appreciated was at the very end when Sting was doing his hot finish, He goes in to lock the Scorpion Deathlock, and I've never seen this before. Bobby Eaton actually tries to block the Deathlock, like he fights it, like you would in a real submission kind of attempt. So I thought that looked really cool. Sting looked like $1 million. Then they showed a match graphic for next week for Macho Man versus the Giant. And again, I ask, who is in their arts department? Who is in their graphics department? Because the photoshopping here was unreal. Just looked like an NES video game graphic. Like it looked so bad. And the way they cut out the single wrestlers looked just really, really low rent. Just very bad. We then see an ad for the VHS of Halloween Havoc 95. And this reminds me again of how hard it was to be a wrestling fan that did not have cable at the time, because this VHS is now outdated by a month. There's already been a pay-per-view since this, and we're getting 2 pay-per-views ago. You need to step up your VHS schedule. But then if you think about it, it probably takes a lot to dupe, thousands of tapes, 3 hours at a time. It's not an easy thing.
I can't even imagine.
Talk about vinyl.
I used to go to the video store and rent WWE pay-per-views. I remember they had a whole section. It was sick. It was like, dude, it was literally like UFC, WWE, Faces of Death. It was like the section at my fucking video store.
I have this.
Was it a local or a Blockbuster?
It was local, yeah. Lights.
What
was
was
called
the chain?
Lights, Camera, Action.
Oh, nice.
In Roselle, Illinois.
My video store was Mike's Video, and I have vivid memories. These wrestling tapes would come out on Tuesdays, and Tuesday afternoon after class, opening the door, running to the counter because I see a kid halfway to the counter already, and being like, "Do you have the new WWF SummerSlam tape?" And like, all right, and then he was like, "All right, relax. I saw both of you come in at the same time. You both have, we have 2 tapes, so you could both rent it." And I was like, "Oh, thank God! Oh, I need to watch it. I need to watch it."
Okay, I gotta go.
So it made it so much more rewarding. Shout out to video stores. Watch staff picks on Cracked.
I have very fond memories of just, my grandma is shopping. There's a video store next door. I'm just gonna go kill half an hour, look at the back of boxes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go get scared looking at the Friday the 13th boxes.
So many great memories.
100%.
Freaked me out, brother. And what's in that
My thing
little
was
room over there? Why can't I go in there?
Oh, yeah, with the curtains.
You know what I'm talking about.
What's in the
What's that?
Oh, that's where the office is.
Oh.
I loved my vivid memory is walking through like every video store, going through the horror section and seeing the cover for the Jack Frost horror movie, where it was like at one end of the aisle, you look at it and it's like, oh, it's a nice snowman. And you go to the other end and an angry snowman, like the lenticular holographic covers.
The box for when Jason goes to hell, I forget which one it is, but there's like a snake through the thing. Scared the fuck out of me. Just the box.
It's scary. Yeah.
The box.
There's like a movie called like, I don't know, The Bloods or something. And it's got like actual like blood inside the VHS cover that's squished around. It was cool.
You ever, dude,
what a lost art form.
I just kind of blew my own mind thinking about being an adult person and having to go into that little room. That's what you're doing.
Oh,
and that's how you're getting your adult entertainment. You're going to a public.
We've never had to do that.
Yeah. Also,
God.
This is your neighbor. Like, he's gonna see you.
Yeah. And oh my God, I cannot imagine the anxiety of grabbing something and going to the counter.
Yeah.
Like walking with.
Yeah. Right, because in Blockbuster they would just have the VHS behind the tape. That's not how it happened at these video stores. You bring the empty box to the front, and then they go find it in their archive.
Dude, remember when like a new movie would come out and Blockbuster would have the whole wall for it?
Yeah. So Blockbusters had no 18 and up.
Yeah, they had no
whatever.
No.
So like I didn't know that video. I like the local chain.
Yeah.
For me was like driving distance. So I didn't find out. I didn't know that there were adult video stores until I was like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And then as you said it, Bo, like knowing there's like an 8, like going to like rent porn, it's like in front of your neighbor, it'd be like you wouldn't even be getting the thing that you like that's inside of you.
Yeah, you're just like,
yeah, I got biggest boobs.
Just the most vanilla shit. Yeah, oh, that sounds so terrible. And then like, go before that, you're fucking ordering stuff through catalogs. And
well, that seems a little more discreet,
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. This does seem like the worst.
Yeah.
You're going to a place where
you have
children.
To bring it back.
Yeah. You have to bring it back.
It really puts into context why those VHS tapes of porn are like $60 because they knew these are people who are very easily embarrassed and they want this bad, so they have them. They have them by the nuts.
Oh.
Here's the thing: everyone is easily there's something, maybe not even the porn part of you, but just the embarrassing part of everybody.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Not return that tape.
Not return that tape. You're gonna pay the late fee forever.
The shame. Oh my god! I gotta go back to family video.
Yeah, you gotta drop. That's why the Dropbox was absolutely invented, so you didn't have to to return the video to someone's physical hands.
Man,
craziness.
I miss video stores.
I know. I'm making one.
Yeah.
At Cracked. Staff picks. Watch it each week. We're curating an actual video store. It's gonna be real, by the way. Physical space. It's gonna be fun.
Wow.
So then we have our main event. And it's much.
There's 3 wrestling matches in this whole episode.
Did we miss a match? Oh, there was a Lex Luger match against Hacksaw Jim Duggan that we skipped.
Yeah, so 3 matches.
My note was, why do we need a Lex Luger match every week?
Dude,
it was Lex Luger. It was Lex Luger and oh my god.
Buff Bagwell. You're right.
Oh yeah, it was Buff
Duggan
Bagwell.
was the week prior.
That's right. Right. I decided something. The torture rack is like the lamest.
Oh.
Finisher.
Yes.
I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not.
I've
on
been
board.
saying
it's like cool in theory.
It's
but he just like
hops.
He hops.
Yeah.
And it's just
it's
like
the hops.
There's nothing impressive about that.
It literally looks like a kid jumping on a bed.
Just like, yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. What do you think is the coolest finisher and the worst finisher?
Jackhammer's got to be the coolest finisher, right? It's got to be the jackhammer.
When he really does it good, it's awesome.
Holy fucking
When he
shit.
really gets the rotation, it's awesome.
It's the best part of literally every move. I'm here. If you're not jumping off of something, I want to see the most creative slam you can give me.
Yeah.
The thing, and the jackhammer is just the most satisfying.
I love the one that Scott
I
Steiner
think.
does, which now Brian Cage has as his finisher, where he has you in the suplex, and then he kind of flips you into a tombstone from the suplex position. Like he lifts you up in a suplex and then brings you down in a tombstone. It looks very unsafe. But my favorite finisher was always a simple power bomb. I thought that would have been my finisher if I was a pro wrestler. I always liked that one.
Razor's Edge.
There we go.
Razor's Edge also.
That's
it's
with
so
with
sick.
the setup and everything. Forget it.
Razor's Edge.
You know what I think is the lamest? Even though I hold this person near and dear. Mandible Claw.
People's elbow.
That is a silly. It's a and that. But like it kind of made sense because you're doing like Mandible Claw doesn't make sense.
The person can't breathe.
What?
I don't know. I guess
but they have a nose.
Know what it is.
That's true.
Everybody's got a nose.
You're choking.
Of course they
I
can
don't
breathe.
know.
Like it never made
also
sense.
Just feels gross sticking a sweaty glove in your hand. I always felt that was gross.
Oh my god, that is
Yeah, I guess I've never thought about the physics of the Mandible Claw.
It doesn't make any sense. Almost, I can't think of another. Like every other submission makes more sense. Every other slam makes more sense.
My least favorite finisher is any punch. If your finish is a punch,
Dude,
Get the fuck away from me.
late era Big Show punch.
Oh yeah. Or the
I don't
Superman
even-
punch.
Ha!
Superman punch. Like, Orange Cassidy is the fucking best.
Mm.
He's the fucking best. I like that he finishes most of his matches with a crafty pin. That makes a ton of sense. No punch.
No punch.
Get that out of there. Get that shit out of there.
What is it? I think it was Hogan. No, Austin Stone Cold saying that like having a finisher like that is just longevity. It just means your body's. I'm jumping
Sure.
on my ass every night for X amount of years. Like,
Do a kick. I don't care.
yeah,
Punch.
I'm with you.
Are you fucking serious? Every match starts with a punch. Just because you made a Nike shoe pose,
Mhm.
or you treated it like it was a gun. I don't fucking care. That doesn't make any sense. Why are you not punching like that the whole time?
Yeah. It's great.
Fair point.
You're absolutely right.
Do that the whole time. You fucking idiot.
It's really lame.
Oh no, this one really hurt him because I went.
So Macho Man comes out for the main event against the Giant, and Macho Man, this jacket is just perfect.
Oh, dude, he looked awesome.
The pink and
He
and
looked-
yellow
oh my
pastel, like
God.
the
Yeah.
neon colors.
Yeah.
Just so good. And he's wearing the same pants he wore the week prior, even, but it doesn't even matter because the jacket and hat combo stand out so much. And just he looks phenomenal.
Fucking awesome.
The Giant comes out, looks very threatening. This is like the Giant's third match ever. you could really see it.
This is the best Giant match we've seen, though.
He did some crazy shit.
Because Macho
Yes.
Man, dude, Macho hit him. I will give them this. This was insane. The peeling of the pads to reveal the concrete, and then the Giant goes to suplex the Macho Man, but the Giant is so tall that the Macho Man is so high up that he just grabs the ropes and hangs on, and so the Giant falls onto the concrete without the Macho Man and just knocks himself stupid.
Cool. Yeah.
And Macho Man is like Spider-Man on the insane spot.
Agreed.
So sick.
I also loved
Cool. I
that
wonder-
the Giant thought it would
he
be a
must
good
have
idea to
thought
go
of
to the top rope for a splash. That looked crazy. And then just how Macho got out of the way and immediately ran up to do an elbow drop. I thought that would have been the finish of the match. It was not.
that
yeah.
should have, if it was the finish, a beautiful
It would have been perfect.
match.
And the Giant wouldn't
If
have
that
looked
was
like
the
a
fit.
scrub because he knocked himself out, you know?
Right. Wow,
Ooh,
good
this
point.
is like right after like falling on cement, and then
and really
God.
nothing they could have done
Yeah.
here would made him look worse than what Hogan did to him at the Halloween Havoc thing where he threw him off a fucking roof. So
But Hogan again coming in to ruin,
Dude,
ruin everything.
ruin this match.
Fucking the worst chair shots. He has a famously bad one to God, who does he hit? It's during like NWO shit. He hits somebody. Maybe it's Booker T or somebody, but he
It's-
literally does like a tap,
yeah.
like the tippiest tap. But
CT is a problem, brother.
but during this, I will say I do love like rabid Hulk.
Yeah.
Like him going insane and just running around and hitting people with chairs as like they for sure have no idea how to book him and like what he is. Is he good? Is he bad? He's doing heel stuff, but people are cheering.
This was a heel finish.
Yeah, absolutely.
big time.
And also, like, why couldn't Macho Man? Why does every main event have to have a schmaz like this now? It's becoming very formulaic. By the way, I believe there's an anecdote that Big Show, the Giant, tells that Hulk Hogan after this match yelled at him. He was like, "You're a giant. You should never get off your feet. Never do a splash or a drop kick again." That's what Hulk Hogan told the Giant.
Really?
He was like, "Get
Man,
this
but
shit
the
out of your
drop kick is
repertoire.
sick.
You're a giant."
Oh. Yeah, and that's the first domino to 20 years later start doing a punch.
Yeah.
Instead of a choke slam,
Yeah.
The
Come on.
choke slam. is also such a like for me. It's like Jackhammer Razor's Edge is number one in that era. I forgot about Razor's Edge. Chokeslam is like number two. It would be number one if not every person did it,
but
as a regular move.
I like that it's like a big man thing. I just like that. Also, dude, a tombstone
is sick
with the pin. Oh
God.
Woo, that's good stuff.
Love it.
So then, in a move that made no sense to me and like really annoyed the crap out of me, Hulk Hogan challenges Macho Man to a world title match, and then Macho Man says, "Okay, sure, but well, first of all, we learned that next week on Nitro, Ric Flair faces the winner of this match in a world title match." Which is so confusing to me because Ric Flair is fighting at Starrcade in a triangle match for an opportunity to get a world title match. So why does he have to go to Starrcade if he's just getting it next week? Beyond that, Hulk Hogan then challenges Macho Man for a world title match, which, based on how they're presenting everyone, is a far bigger match than the matches that they're setting up with Hogan and Flair. I mean, with Macho and Flair, or anything at Starrcade. Any match possibility at Starrcade is not as big as Hogan and Macho, but we're told that that match has to happen after all of those matches. Why are you even teasing this? Like you've made
why are you doing it already?
You've made these other matches seem insignificant. Like, I don't care.
He for sure he for sure had some kind of, whatever the suspension, whatever the reality was behind it. And now they're like, okay, finally Hulk, like after Starrcade, he's in and everything's normal again. But that doesn't mean that they need to announce this match before their biggest pay-per-view. You're absolutely right. I didn't even catch that. And I love that he's like, Macho Man is like, if and when I do retain the belt, like, then we will have the match. It's just like, there's no like cheeky way to say that. You're basically saying you're retaining because they're going to want this match. Everyone wants Macho Man versus Hulk. That's an awesome match. So you're kind of ruining your biggest pay-per-view.
And again, I guess this week answered my question last week of why Hogan is not on the pay-per-view. I guess they suspend him now because of this rampage that he went on.
I see.
But he talked about being suspended last week, and then it became he was on probation.
It doesn't make
so he was either injured or had a crazy clause in his contract where he would only wrestle X amount of days, or was filming.
Or maybe just didn't want to work Christmas week or some bullshit,
Yeah, something had to have been happening. Macho Man says possibly the dumbest thing where he's like, "Can I have this chair? I might try to sell it. I might get it autographed. It might be worth some money." That's the last thing. That's the last phrase on air. Jesus Christ.
All right, folks. Well,
bummer. After the giant splash and got hit with the elbow, I was like, I can't imagine. I was like, I know they're gonna fuck this up, but like, I was like, they had a pretty good match.
Yeah,
for it being the giant. I'm leaving this TV episode like pretty satisfied, and then this ending happened, and I was like, wow, this company has a knack for. You can't imagine how bad this ending is.
Yeah. Again, there's a pattern of one really good match, a lot of silliness, and then the most confusing booking with 6 guys.
Yeah.
It's been that way for weeks now. It's crazy.
That's so crazy.
Well, folks, we only have one more episode, and then we have our big season finale, which is Starrcade 95. We're going to have Colin back on for that one. But next week, join us for the last Nitro of 1995. I believe it's even a Christmas Day. It is a pre-taped episode. They taped it this week. After this episode that we just watched, they taped it. But there might be some Christmassy things on it. We'll see.
I can't imagine there wouldn't be.
So tune and of course
Pepe's going to be a little snowman.
Oh my God, I can't. We're like Santa Pepe, I hope.
Yeah.
And of course, follow us on the socials, Knitro Pod. And check out my wrestling podcast. I interview musicians about their love of pro wrestling, and we talk much like we do here. It's called Squared Circle Pit. It's also on Knotfest. And, of course, Hard Lore is on Knotfest. And 2 Minutes to Late Night. You want yourself some fancy metal covers. Check out Jordan's Alter Ego, Arsenio Hall, on 2 Minutes to Late Night.
Yeah, this stuff.
Shout out to our boy, Rob Menzer, for keeping us looking pretty and tight. Keeping those flames flowing behind us. Yeah.
Thanks, Rob. Feel free to cut as much fat from the steroid talk as you want. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.